Well, we're live and it's time for the third ODI, or rather almost time for the third ODI between Australia and India. Definitely a little bit of a patchwork approach really from, you could say, both sides, because you're seeing so many team changes being made. With India, it's partly down to rest, partly down to a viral fever which Rohit Sharma had admitted has pretty much decimated the side. And it does in fact look like we're going to see Virat Kohli open for India today. Interesting.
For India today?
Yes, not for this.
Well, it's been a thought that's been much explored, talked about, flirted with, whatever you want to say. And there are some who are going to be happy to see Virat Kohli open. Going by the theory that you want the best batter to face the most balls, well, that's going to happen now today. Of course, this is a makeshift arrangement. Let's not fool ourselves here. It's not going to be something that you're going to see. And it's not been the dress rehearsal you and I hope for. It's been very, very tactical, let's say. Both teams have been tactical / cautious, whatever you want to say. Today, though, India's hand was forced. Very quickly, we'll tell you the 11s. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill was supposed to be here, but not travelling with the team, as we know. So Rohit Sharma will be joined by Virat Kohli right up top. Then at number 3, you're expecting who to play?
You'll have Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul.
Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, that's right.
Then you've got Hardik Pandya, Sky. And if I'm not wrong, Washington Sundar would be.
We will. Okay, so Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul to bat at number 4, as the team seat suggests at the moment. Suryakumar Yadav at number 5, Ravindra Jadeja at 6. Washington Sundar finally gets a game after 5 matches of him just being with the team and not getting a game.
No, not 5 matches.
3.
Actually, not even 3, because he played the final, remember?
No, but he just was there.
Yeah,
he was just there. Yeah, he was just there.
He did a bit of fielding.
He was a moral support player.
Yeah, finally gets a game after being involved in 3 India matches, let's say, or just being around, let's say, in contention. So Washington Sundar gets a game. Kuldeep Yadav is back after being rested for the first 2 matches, and you will, for once now in this series, see India fielding 3 proper outright seamers. Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna are going to be there.
Of course, Prasidh gets a game because, of course, I think Shami, it was known that he wouldn't be travelling, so he's been rested most likely. And of course, 3 seamers, 3 spinners, although I think at least one of those spinners is not getting their full quota, probably not a Washington. But even if you look at the Australian team, by the way, a lot of players coming back in, if you're looking at, from a fitness perspective, because again, you've got Mitch Marsh, David Warner, that's been fairly consistent. Steve Smith is back in, Marnus Labuschagne, of course.
Stark is
Alex
back.
Carey is another one who's returning. Maxwell and Stark are the 2 people returning.
Carey was there.
Carey was
in
the last.
In the second,
I think he was, because he was
keeping wickets. In the first, he had Inglis keep wickets.
Exactly.
So you had Carey there, but the ones who are making a return, you've had, of course, Maxwell, not played in a while. Mitch Stark finally makes, so they're actually playing their 3 pure seamers. So there's Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood. Tanveer Sangha makes his debut. He's coming in place of one Adam Zampa.
No space for Spencer Johnson. We saw him be there in the second match. So that's the one change. Tanveer Sangha comes in. Spencer Johnson goes out. Mitch Stark, that's our takeaway as far as the Australian cap is concerned, is back. Pat Cummins is also there. Remember, he played one, then got rested. Cameron Green was there and continues to be there in the side. Glenn Maxwell, somebody who obviously people in India also take a lot of interest in, for obviously the fact that he, for one, can create a certain havoc, and he's done that in the past as well. He can, in fact, trouble you with his off spin as well. And of all teams, he's troubled India on a couple of occasions with his off spin, even though it'll be interesting to see what his involvement in the game will be like, because as we know, he's coming back after a long injury layoff.
But now Australia looks like a much more rounded off side with the Mitchell Stark, Maxwell and all of those coming in, and Alex Carey finally keeping the wickets. But he has been keeping the wickets in the last game as well. But when we talk about this series, we knew for a fact that, at least I did, I expected that this was going to be a very, when it comes to preparation, we were thinking this would be sort of like the core team will be playing the World Cup core team. No, I wasn't expecting that to happen, because you could tell that the management was talking about resting and all of that. It was a sign.
Yeah, actually, if you look at it now, this team for Australia is pretty much close to
The World
what
Cup
their
team.
core team would be.
Yeah.
Remove maybe Tanvir Sangha, put an Adam Zampa.
True.
And I'm pretty sure that would be what their core would be, because otherwise, who do you really think would be probably starting if he was the first choice or if he was available? Travis Head.
So you expect Marsh and Warner to open as you've seen in
Yeah.
this series,
The
right?
number 3 and 4 would most likely be Smith and Labuschagne as things stand.
Because you
Who
don't
would
know
be
about Head. But
Doesn't
again,
seem like
exactly,
he's
which is why you see Mitch Marsh also open. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen Marsh possibly open.
Yeah, he could have probably been first drop.
Exactly. But it's the flexibility that Marsh gives you, who he can, and it continues to be a mystery how he's become such a successful opener as well. Whenever he's been asked to, didn't start his career
3D
there,
player?
as you know.
Yeah. Actually, yes,
3D
player
player.
indeed, because he's someone who's very good in the field as well.
Yeah.
Plus gives you a few overs. As
Put
and
on
when
your
necessary.
glasses.
Not the glasses. Not the glasses. Let's not go there. But of course, even this Indian team, by the way, I wouldn't say it's anywhere close.
It's nowhere close.
nowhere close.
It's only 40%. Let's say. Let's count the number of players you know for sure will be there in the 11.
Rohit,
Rohit, Virat, Shreyas, KL, Jaddu, Kuldeep, Jasprit, Siraj. Actually, if you see,
8 out of 11.
8 out of 11 players, so you're just looking at 3 players not being there.
You're
so
very
this
close.
is a 70-75% Indian team that you will be seeing. By the way, this actually could be the side minus Surya, because I'm not too sure if at all times or
No.
if at all at some point he'll be, even if you're looking at rotating the players, at how Surya Kumar Yadav comes into the mix is something I will have to think about, and I'm not sure. But
No,
otherwise,
if you look at Sky, he's mostly been performing lower down the order. But if you're looking at the lower down the order options, then it has to be Pandya, Jadeja, and Sharpul, because they give you
amongst
bowling.
players who will be rotated.
Or not necessarily rotated. I think, see, Pandya and Jadeja are starting come work, mate.
Absolutely.
Come work.
Yeah.
If you have to maybe rotate, then maybe these 3 would be the ones. you look at.
Exactly.
In fact, even there, I would say probably Shardul.
Shardul would be rotated.
Because Shardul would be rotated for someone like Akshar, or if he makes it, Ashwin. You need the bowling option.
Yeah.
So actually, you'll then compromise your bowling at ad and play a Sky, because if you look at it today, you have 6 bowlers, but that's also because you're playing 2 spinning all-rounders, which doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah, you're not rotating your vice captain. Hardik Pandya is not going anywhere.
No, he will be rotated.
Some matches
will be.
you might.
Of course,
If
you're
India
not looking
feel-
at him playing all. In his own words, it's triple the hard work that one has to do as a all-rounder, and
Yeah, that's true.
he'll be expected. He's been bowling say 7-8 overs, by the way, very recently. So you're expecting him to bat and bowl 7-8 overs across 9 games at least. That's not happening. That's not happening.
If
Given
you
us,
look
you
at it
assume
that
you're
way,
making the
then
semis.
yes. No,
Yeah.
I'm purely talking about performance and is this player important enough to
yeah.
kind of keep in all games? Yes, he is. That's what I'm saying.
but he can't. For all practical purposes, you will not.
You
And
will
it's
favour
not just
that.
with him. It's not just with him. You'll
And-
see it with the best all-rounders. In fact,
Not
they'll be
just that,
rested
you
at
have
some
to
point.
remember, you have to remember, after the World Cup, you're playing a T20I series against Australia.
Which he will be captaining.
He's going to be captaining. So I really don't think that he's in fact going to, play all games. I think for sure maybe a couple of games, potentially Netherlands and the likes, he might sit out. He will sit out at least a couple of games. We can take a few questions, since XYZ is asking about Hardik. Was already confirmed yesterday in the press conference that he has stayed back home, not traveled with the team due to personal reasons. That's all Rohit revealed. So he was never going to in fact be playing today. King D points out that yes, the boundaries are long in this ground, at least longer than what we saw in the past 2 games. But it's also worth noting that the average first inning score at Rajkot is about 311. So you're expecting plenty of fireworks.
A road.
Well, not necessarily a road, but yes, very good batting conditions for sure. I think maybe they were talking in the pitch report about, there being a good covering of grass. Now, is that
That's
grass
good.
just to hold the pitch together, or is it going to come into play? We don't know yet. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be as bad as, say, what it was in the previous game in Indore. That was a next level road.
Akhil has a very strong opinion. He's saying that choosing Surya over Sanju in World Cups was favoritism, and he will say it on any day.
I think that's a valid point, because I know that Sky in recent times suddenly has rediscovered his mojo, or discovered his mojo, because he never really had it in ODI cricket. But Sanju had an average of 55, so if I'm him, I would definitely be feeling very hard done by it.
See, it's simple, and you want to call it favoritism, you want to call it Mumbai lobby, Mumbai Indians quota, whatever it is. I leave the choice of words up to you, but certain things are very clear, and I'm just going back to saying what Rohit Sharma had said once, that certain players that team management believes in, though he'd said it for the Mumbai Indians setup, but I'd like to believe that the same philosophy is sort of adopted in the national setup as well. The fact that certain players that the team management has expectations from and can see the potential will be given a long rope. He also went ahead and said this is something that's happened in the past and will continue to happen. And clearly in the case of Suryakumar Yadav, that's been the thing. You have only gotten belief, and that's why you've given him all of these chances. Otherwise, if you were judging him by the standards or by the filter of that West Indies series, then the same standards or the same parameters should have applied to Surya as well, like you did with Sanju. Clearly, that's not happened. So you're only looking at the fact that Surya on his day, the day that he fires, which you saw in the last two matches, particularly the one in which India got to 399. That yes, it's that enigmatic factor about Suryakumar Yadav that one day when he goes ballistic, he is a sole match winner. You're just riding on that factor.
And I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, because he made a very fast climb to number one T20 batter and all of that. I mean, that is commendable, by the way. And Surya has shown you something that he's a very unique batter, and if he can bat the way that he did in the last game as well, and the way that he bats in T20s, why not have someone like that in your squad?
I don't think so.
No, I
don't fancy that thought. I'll tell you why, because I think we've seen enough. We've seen enough, and if you're looking at some point, you are, let's say, not just as a fan, as a cricketer as well, perhaps you would want some sort of fairness to be there as well. Right now, maybe that whole clamour about fairness has been set aside, because you're looking at somebody like a Surya who gives you, the day that he fires, the gains are massive, but there has to be a process. Right now, my only grouse is that a certain process has been breached when you didn't have enough. All you've gone ahead with is a certain belief. Right now, you didn't have the numbers. Let's be honest about that. You just didn't have the numbers to have him in the side for that long. And Sanju, again, if you're telling that, boss, even a 50-55 average isn't good enough, I'm sorry. You're clearly looking at some other numbers than I have.
Then you're not looking at numbers, then you're looking at belief. That, oh, this guy we know has the X factor, so we're only backing it. And see, to be fair, I understand that it's happened, as Rohit said, it's happened before, and I think it will continue to happen. I'm not a fan of it, but then again, I don't run the team. So, what can be done about it? In fact, as GJK points out, he's saying that if Surya plays a blinder today, then team may be forced to have him in the 11. Who will you sacrifice? No one. Because then they'll keep him as a very good bench option. Because again, you can't put him in 4-5. He can't bat like that in 4-5.
And this is a conversation we were having here at the dugout yesterday. Again, you can. And who do you take out? Would you take out somebody like a Shreyas? Shreyas, by the way,
nothing wrong.
He's absolutely done nothing wrong. His numbers are even better than that of Surya's. Surya's, as far as numbers are concerned, doesn't make it, by the way. But again, you don't select squad based on just numbers. They play a part, but not the entire part is, let's say, played by those numbers.
Absolutely.
Point being that Suryakumar Yadav is a very good option to have at the moment, but you are only hoping for that one day when you'll actually need that blitzkrieg from him. Are you saying that the Indian team will need that blitzkrieg every day in a chase, let's say? What are the other four going to do up top then? Or five, those who are going to bat before him? Shreyas Iyer guarantees, if somebody who averages about 50 is guaranteeing you about 30 to 50 runs or even more every match, right? That's what the number suggests.
Exactly. Also, I think one big talking point which a lot of people are pointing out is King D points, and we can actually delve on this a little bit before the match starts, is are they still kind of, is there still some sort of a trial by fire for an Ashwin and Sundar? Because I think if they had to be 100% sold on Ashwin, why is he sitting out today? Do you need him to sit out today?
I think the answer to that is that he's given you the small answer that you were looking for.
You were looking for. Now
the little answer. You didn't need him to win the man of the match or pull off a fifer or something like that. All you needed for him to do was pick a few wickets and just sort of leave a little bit of a mark. That he's done. That's it. That's all you were needing from Ashwin. With Washi though, you're trying to see what you can get out of Washi. That's it. And in this, but Washi will have to do something crazy, out of the book, out of the syllabus, everything. Maybe an 8-for or something which you don't expect
or
for him to run,
50.
because you have to finalize the team by tomorrow.
Or a 2-for with a 50. Because then suddenly the cat is really among the pigeons. You know why? Because as a batter, I will rate Washi higher than Ashwin. Also gives you
there's no question about it.
Also gives you the advantage of being a left-hander. Ashwin is yet another right-hander.
If you, by the way, go by the 11 that we were thinking about yesterday, you only have one left-hander in Jadeja who will come in at number 6.
Exactly. 7, right?
7, yeah, 5 is K.
In the World Cup.
Yeah, 7.
So
yeah.
that's the thing. You've again sacrificed the left-hander. Although to be fair, KL has done enough to probably justify that.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I think Ishan would have been at 5. But otherwise, yeah, once again you're stuck with that familiar problem of not having enough left-handers. So in that sense, if Washington Sundar suddenly today gets a quick fire 30-40, takes 2-3 wickets, well, then suddenly you have another conundrum
Yeah.
in your hands.
I think again I'll go.
I'll be very loud
The
about
number
it.
8 problem.
I'll say the same thing because again he will have to do something magnificent. I think something earth-shattering or whatever it is, groundbreaking. He'll have to do to be able to knock the door or just bring the door down. Because I think at the moment, again for some players you just need, let's say, this much to be done to be able to be in the squad. The others will have to bloody lift a mountain to be able to get inside.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
So that is actually how things stand right now. We are about a few minutes away from the toss. But sorry, from the match start. My brain is fried. I've been going at it since morning. It's been a lot.
Don't blame you, Shane. Don't blame you.
There's a lot happening in the world of sport. Let's see. Shyam Sundar Reddy says that should Jadeja be promoted in the batting order? I mean, to be fair, you've seen him used as a floater in the past.
It doesn't work as well.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's worked on a couple of occasions. Hasn't necessarily always worked.
Yeah, also the problem is if you promote Jadeja, then Hardik will have to bat even lower. And right now, we've heard it from him. He doesn't want to bat so low in the batting order. So I think Jadeja has no option but to bat at number 7 and deliver when he's asked to.
Yeah, GGK is an absolute Thaliga Vengan.
What's he saying?
See, he's saying that what Iyer or KL or Virat can do, what Sky can do, though no one can. Sky can do it 5 or 6 times, and he's not just for one days. This is the same guy who for months has been crying about the fact that Sky has been getting preference over Sanju. Next level, I love it.
What is Dex saying? He wants us to take
He's
his
saying
comment.
that Sri Lanka may have a weak squad, but it's enough to destroy Pakistan in the World Cup. I seriously doubt it. Don't go by that Asia Cup game. It's going to be played in entirely different conditions.
Exactly. Go back, Dex. Shane and I did in fact try to break down that Sri Lanka squad yesterday, and we agree partly with you when you say that maybe they've got a strong squad and all, but having said that, it's not the kind of squad that you need to win a World Cup is what we feel. We'll be very happy for our friends there in Sri Lanka and a dear friend in the studio who's not there right now, Siddharth, if Sri Lanka are to go ahead and win the World Cup. But right now, I don't think they have the side. They do have very good players over there, but they'll really have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to be able to, pull off upsets against teams like India, Australia, England, and New Zealand / South Africa as well, who look very good as well. South Africa, you look at the turnaround that they just made against Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I know South Africa don't have a knock here for the World Cup, which is unfortunate. But there, that middle order looks very, very solid.
Yeah.
Miller, Klassen, and Makram.
Yeah.
That is a formidable batting lineup. That, as far as 3, 4, 5 go, it's very solid.
They know these conditions. They can play spin well. And watch out for that Feklo slower one as well.
Oh yeah, it's deadly.
Exactly.
Very deadly.
So yeah.
No, but there seems to be a lot of actually chatter around Sky now. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think I'm okay with him in the squad. Made my peace with it because unfortunately you don't have an option. But I don't see him starting a World Cup game. Unless you absolutely then tone your blueprint out again, which is probably the worst thing to do just before.
And I'll go back to saying what we sort of talked about yesterday at the dugout in the sense that you could say that and who do you take out right now? You can only take out Shreyas, by the way. You're not touching KL Rahul unless you want to take KL Rahul out and bring Ishan Kishan in as well. I don't think you're looking at that.
Don't do that.
Exactly. Right now the only way you can slot Suryakumar Yadav is you take out Shreyas Iyer from the side. But why would you? Why would you do that? Just because he's not gonna take, or he's not gonna have that gung-ho approach, let's say, that Suryakumar Yadav. But he is the ideal player in the ODI format.
Because he knows how to change gears.
He knows how to change gears. He's averaging he knows how to play spin for now. By the way, he's one of the better spin batters.
The best player of spin in the team right now.
Exactly, in that top order right now. And what is wrong? He's your ideal ODI batter, by the way, Shreyas Iyer. He can look. He was, in fact, the aggressor between Gill and him the other day.
Correct.
He was the aggressor. He got to the century before.
In fact, earlier also was getting more boundaries.
Yes.
Gill picked it up a little bit by hitting a couple of sixes later on. But early on, it was Shreyas who was consistently getting you boundaries.
And I would any day have somebody like a Shreyas here who is guaranteeing me right now. He's my safety card, let's say.
Yeah.
A safety card, or let's say an ideal card as well. I'd want to have, in the team. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with him. Now that the World Cup is happening in India, having someone like a Shreyas Iyer who can absolutely dominate spin, that's like you said, the safest option you can have.
And actually, I would, I'd not normally go with that argument, but the fact of the matter is, it's not like the rest of your batters play spin particularly well.
Exactly.
Also, don't confuse safe with something. Safety, I think, for some reason has that connotation of negativity and as a defensive measure or a weakness. Safe is actually your ideal at the moment.
It's your strength.
Yeah.
Safe is actually your ideal and your best right now. Don't confuse over there.
So we're what 2 minutes now to go from the match starting. Any predictions? Because this one seems like a tough one to call.
Yeah.
I don't know. On one hand, this is a pitch where you're averaging 311 in the first innings. I don't think today's pitch is going to be as easy as what Indore was. Indore was next level.
Indore was way too flat. Yeah. Way too flat. Unless, of course, the pitcher in Rajkot has taken inspiration, or the curator has taken inspiration from the curator there in Indore.
And said, no, let's give this guy a pitch.
Or maybe the curators have this own mini fight sort of going on as to who dishes out a better belter.
सबसे ज़्यादा रन किस ग्राउंड पे बनेंगे?
अरे तू क्या देखेगा? राजकोट में देख.
राजकोट में let's see.
400 par. But looking at the fact that it also appears to be a flat deck, I think, and Australia, by the way, look the strongest team at the moment than they did in the previous two ODIs. So I'm going to go with Australia posting somewhere around 285, let's say. Because I do expect this Indian team to also not be conceding in excess of 300. I think India's got a decent bowling attack here. So, but yeah, 285 I think I'll go with.
Somehow I feel today is going to be a 320-ish kind of day. And in Australia win.
Oh, very good.
All right.
I think they'll get about 310. But I do expect India to chase that down. But under lights, generally speaking, pitches tend to get much better. That's just how I feel. But you guys can let us know as well what you think, and of course join us through the day. Plenty happening in the world of sport, not just this match, but plenty happening in the Asian Games as well. So we'll keep you posted on all of that. For now though, we'll take your leave. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us on socials, download the Sports app, and stay tuned. Plenty more happening. For now though, from Gargi, Harshit and me, bye-bye.